Hi, so I'm going to trim this bowl. The bowl was thrown a while ago and I had under the plastic. It's now ready to trim. It's leather hard, so I can go like this without putting fingerprints in it. The purpose of trimming is, first of all, as you can see, to clean it up so that it looks like that. And you see I trimmed a foot on this. This is a mug. I didn't trim a foot, but I cleaned it up. So that used to look kind of like this on the bottom. So the purpose for trimming is A, to clean it up, and B, to make it so it's consistent thickness all the way through. Oftentimes when we throw, let's say with the cylinder like this, it'll look kind of like this, especially beginners. There'll be a bunch of clay at the bottom still. This is a cutaway view on the side. So what we need to do is cut off some of that, some of that, some of that. So all this area will come off. Basically just cleaning it up. One of the things is cleaning it up. The other thing is to make it weigh the way it looks. If it's heavier than the way it looks, it's not all that pleasant to use. And ceramics is very tactile, and you want it to either be lighter or look the same, weigh the same as it looks. So that's the purpose of this. On the bowl, I'm going to go like this. So what I have now, I'll put it upside down on the wheel to trim. What I have right now looks kind of like that. And inside the bowl, it's a little bit thicker down there. So what I'm going to do is go like this, trim that off, and then make a foot like that. So all this stuff comes off. Okay, let's go to the wheel. Alrighty, so the first thing for trimming is that you have to get the pot that is leather hard. Again, so it's really set up. The fingerprints don't make a mark, but it's still wet. On the centered on the wheel, you can't trim something that's looks like that. It's got to be steady and centered in the wheel. There are concentric rings on the wheel that can help you get in the ballpark. So I'll go ahead and do that. And that's actually pretty well centered right there. But most things have a different kind of center. Sometimes this part will be off from this, or you'll have to look here to center or here to center. Sometimes you have to look down here to center. It's where the majority of the pot is. So you kind of have to eyeball that sometimes. Now, if the pot is off, like this is off right now, the sort of beginning way to center, the easiest way to do it is to hold your needle tool steady, and you hold it at 6 o'clock, and where the pot is off center, it'll make a little mark. But it's made a little mark there, probably hard to see from where the camera is. That's okay. Hard for me to see. There it is. Now, where that mark is off, actually, I can't see that. I'm going to make a deeper one. Okay, there's the mark. So maybe you can see that. I hit that right here at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to push that away from me now because that's where it was sticking out towards the center. But I have to kind of guesstimate. Now it's still a little bit off, so I'll mark it at a different spot. Right there. And that part's where it's sticking out now, and I'll push that towards center. And that's pretty good. Anyway, that's the way to center things. Again, have your very well supported, arms against your body, and just hit it where it's sticking out. Push it towards center, and that gets it centered. Now, a more advanced way to center, which if you're going to get serious about pottery, you'll want to learn how to do it. And I would recommend, instead of using one of your pots that could break, use a can of soup or a can of corn, something that hasn't been opened, that has weight to it, that you can bat around a little bit. It can fall without hurting, instead of wrecking your pot. The way you tap the center, I'll just demonstrate it first, so you can see that it's off center right now. Now it's centered. It's called tapping. The way to learn how to do it is where it's off, you can do one of two things. You look at 3 o'clock, and then you hit it at 9 o'clock. So I'm looking over at 3, and I hit it at 9, and the thing is my reactions are a little slow. That's why it works. So at 3, and I hit at 9, and it works out. Another way to learn how to do it is sort of the German beer band approach, which is boom, 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 boom. Let's make it a little faster speed. Boom, 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 chick, hit, boom. 6 o'clock, boom, 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 hit, boom, hit, boom, chick. Okay? Anyway, good skill to learn. Alrighty, now to trimming. Now that I have it centered, I don't want to lose that center. That's centered. By the way, before I even put in the wheel, I feel where it starts to get thicker. So it's a little bit thick right about here. I make a little mark. I know I need to trim up to that mark there. But you always feel where the thickness starts. And then you can see where it is in the bottom and where the foot goes. I'll talk about that in a second. Now, once you get this thing centered, you want to lose the center. So you want to put your chuck on and go like this, push it, watch what happens. I just lost my center now. That's off center again because I pushed this and displaced the pot off. So what I do is two things. One, I hold the pot down with my hand. The other is I don't push in, I push down. And the clay will displace onto the rim. That way you don't also, your pot won't move as much, and also, even though it won't because your hands are here, but also keeps your rim from deforming. So that's really important. So I push down rather than in. I put 4 chucks on. I call these chucks. That way it won't go anywhere. Okay, as with throwing, elbows are connected to the hip bones or to your sides, and I never just with one hand. My hands are always together, always touching, and I'm up really close to where the metal is. What I'm going to do first of all, you can use any side, I use this one, I'm going to clean up this little edge here. And this will also start defining the outside part of the foot. So I'm just cleaning it, and the clay should come off like ribbons, just like this. You shouldn't be just marking it with no clay coming off. It should be, I'm putting it flat on, and the ribbons are coming off. Okay. Now, the foot should be about. It could be any size. If you want more stability, but it looks clunkier, make it wide. If you want to have more life and lift and more sort of a spectacular, full up thing that floats, make it smaller. But you don't want to make it so small unless it's totally decorative. That's going to fall over if you put a spoon in it. So wide rim, stability. Smaller rim, beauty, life and lift. So a good what would you call it? Compromise would be about 1/3 the diameter of the rim is a pretty good. They're working on the roof here, so if you hear stuff, that's what that is. So I'm going to get this about the place where I want it. Okay, and I'm going to continue cleaning up the outside. This is for larger areas. It's larger rim. Again, my hands are here, and then my fingers are right on it. And I can start cleaning this thing up. And I made that mark, so I'm going to trim right down to about there, where that mark was. Again, the whole idea being to get the same thickness all the way through. For the look of it, for the weight of it, and also for shrinkage. If you have thick clay and thin clay, you get cracks. So this makes it all very consistent. I didn't say that with the board, I should have. And this way I'm going to get it flat on the bottom. Sometimes there's lumps. Flat on the bottom. Okay. Now, by the way, the outside of the foot is a design. You can go straight down into the pot and have a real precise change of direction. You can go in a little bit, so that it has sort of a it goes in and comes back out again. It can be a smooth transition where it has this flow into the bowl. Whatever you want, really. Whatever seems best for the bowl. Okay? So anyway, that's another discussion for another time. But I'm going to make a mark now about how thick I want the foot to be. That's where I'm going to come out to about. Maybe about there. I kind of like my feet about the same thickness as the bowl. Some people like to make them a little wider. That's a rule that you can break. Okay. Now, here's the big one. For years, I have never punched through a bowl. And that's because I don't push down. I put the right corner in the middle, I make a hole. Just a little one. And then I drag the trimming tool a little bit sideways. So I'm actually, the force is going to the right. It's not going down. And I almost guarantee you'll never punch through. If you don't know how thick your clay is, you can tap on it. It will sound thin. Like I can take a little more clay off right here. It's not quite thin enough. It shouldn't sound paper thin, but you'll be able to hear when it starts. That sounds good. You'll get the feel for that as you do more. Again, I make a hole, I drag it sideways. Now, on the inside of the bowl, if you look at it right side up like a bowl, I made it round on the bottom, just like this one is. So I'm going to take off a little bit more clay right here so that it mirrors that. Again, I'm trying to get the extra clay off. So I'm here in the middle. I'll take a little more clay off as I get to the edge. And again, the clay will come out in ribbons, if you're doing it right. And I think I'm probably pretty much there. Let me check. Yep, that's good. Wherever pottery touches tables, wherever pottery touches fingers and lips, you want it nice and soft. So I'm smoothing these edges out. And by the way, after firing, I can sand it off too, and it'll be really, really silky smooth. At this point, and if you don't know where you're at, you can always take it off, which I'm going to do now, and just feel what it feels like. Okay, I could take a little more clay off. I could take a little more clay off here, and it's actually in the ballpark. So we'll say it's good. Good. So anyway, but I could put it back down and then recenter it and then trim some more if I needed it. Okay. I'm going to put my name on it now. I use my needle tool, this end of it. It's sort of like calligraphy where you get thick and thin lines, but always put your name on there because everything gets round. All the students, hundreds of students have round pots. You want to know which one's yours. Okay? That's a foot.